Hello everyone, Jennifer McMurrain here. And every year for the Oklahoma Writers Federation contest, we have some frequently asked questions regarding formatting. So we thought this year we would take some time, make a little recording, and show you exactly what the judges are looking for. So let's go ahead and get started. You can see here that I'm at our handy dandy little OWFI.org page. This page is changing often. We are getting things ready for the conference. We are getting things ready for the contest. So make sure to come back often and check out what's new and what's happening because things are being added all the time. So, but all of our contest information is up. You can either click this button right here, or if you go under Join Us, right now it's under Join Us and our OWFI writing contest. Here you see we have tabs for everything you could want to know. We do have our contest categories, they're up. And y'all, they're up all year long. So if you want to use these as writing exercises and work towards this contest all year long, you can do that. They might change just a little bit from year to year, but for the most part, they stay pretty much the same. That being said, we have tweaked a few things. And when I say we, I mean the contest committee, which is comprised of former judges and contestants, as well as our wonderful Vice President, Vicki Malone Kennedy, and our excellent second Vice President, Lisa Skaggs Willis. So when we sit down and talk about this contest, the thing that is at the forefront of our mind is making sure that it is the best contest for you. We want to do that with the conference as well, but here we're talking about the contest, and we want to make sure that it's the best contest for you. We also want to make sure that it's fairly easy for you to enter. So even though I know there's been some changes over the years and everybody's a little bit resistant to change, just know that each one of these changes we are doing because we think it helps, okay? So make sure to go through these categories. Make sure that the category you're looking for is still there. We have tweaked it some, we've added some, we've taken some away. So go through and look at those. We have some very exciting new things. We've also tweaked word counts and page counts. So definitely take a look at that because it might not be the same as it was last year. So you might just not want to hit the re-enter button. So they're all there. You can peruse through them as you like. We also have all of our submission guidelines up. The first rule of entering any contest is to read the rules, right? So make sure that you read through all of these. A lot of them have not changed. You're gonna feel like a sense of deja vu as you're reading them, but some of them have. So just take a look at them, read through them, make sure that you know what you're doing before you even get started. So for the purposes of today, we are talking about formatting, and we also have this really handy tab here that only talks about what we're looking for in the formatting. So they're not getting lost in all of the submission guidelines. They're over there, but right here, they're nice and concise. So this is the best page to go when you are formatting your manuscripts. So I am basically just going to go through, I'm not going to go through every category. I'm going to take like different types of the categories and go through those. And so you can kind of see how they're done. Now I am working on a PC with Microsoft 365. So there may be some stuff that doesn't look quite the same on your computer if you're using a Mac or a different word processor or even a different version of Word. But our hope is that if I show you here on mine, that you'll know where to look and that you'll be able to find it, or at the very least, you'll know what to Google, because sometimes that's half the battle is knowing what to Google. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to start here at the top with essay. The first thing I want to look at is to make sure that I am meeting the word count. Now, the only way that you can get disqualified from our contest is if you have identifying markers. So make sure that your name, your nickname, anything like that is not, your email address is not on the document that you're submitting. So that's the very first thing that you want to do. So I'm doing an essay. I know that my word count is 2,000 words. If I go over here to my essay, I see down here, sorry, I lost my mouse. I see down here in the bottom left corner that I am well under that, so I am good to go. Now I want to work on the actual formatting of the document. Now you might think to yourself, well, if the only reason I get disqualified is if my name is on it, why should I even worry about formatting? Well, there's a few reasons actually, but mostly we want to make it easy on the judge's eye. As a former judge, I can tell you that if it's formatted poorly, that's going to distract me from your story. And as much as I sit down and I just want to judge you on your story, I just want to read your story, those little things kind of get in your head. Bad grammar, bad formatting, those are the things that, you know, that just kind of, it rips you out of the story. So as a judge, we, you know, even though we're trying very hard just to read it and pick the story that we love the most, those things kind of get to us a little bit. So we want to make sure that we have a clean document for them, for the judges to read. We want to give them the best possible experience that we can. And that goes for when you're putting a book out in the world too. If you format that book poorly and the reader opens it and it's kind of like a mess and it's hard in their eyes, they're going to stop reading. So it's really important to have a nice clean document to give to the judges and to give to your readers. So here we are with our essay. We know that we want, if we go back over here to our guidelines, we know that we want 12 space, we want double space and 12-point fonts. And I don't see that on here, but that's what we want. We want 12-point font, double spaced, and we want Times New Roman. And that might be added by the time that this video gets out there. So, so very easy to do. I can either, you know, scroll down and highlight everything, or I can click, there we go, Control A for Control All, and that will select everything. And so if I go to the home, I see that it is Times New Roman, but it's 11-point font. That's too small. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up to 12. Now, I don't have any indents and I have this kind of wonky space in between my paragraphs. I don't want either of those. So a very easy place to go to fix both of those is the line and paragraph spacing. Click that and click double space right there and remove space after paragraph. Now, sometimes the default is having a space before the paragraph and a space after the paragraph. You don't want either one of those, so remove both, okay? Now you can see I don't have any indents in front of my paragraphs. We want those. Again, we want to make it really easy on the eye. So I'm going to go back over here to my paragraph section. I'm going to click this little arrow. That's going to give me all the formatting for my paragraphs. It's already left justified, but I'm going to go ahead and click that anyway. There's my indentation. First line, 1/2 inch is perfect. And I can see that it's already double spaced. So I'm just going to hit OK and voila, it's done. Now that did move our title over. So I'm just going to highlight that and click center there. Now, if I want to see what the formatting is doing behind the scenes, all I have to do is click this little icon here and it will tell me. Now, I personally like to have four double spaces down and then one in between. There's no solid rule on that, but again, we're going for a clean looking format. Okay, we want the judge to look at it and we want their eye to be drawn into the story, not into the, oh my gosh, it's kind of cluttered. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click that off now. And if I go back over here, we're going to talk about our headers. This is the part where people get really confused. And so this is the main reason I said, oh, hey, I'll do a video, because I have answered this question a lot. And it's just people just don't know where to look for it. So let me show you where to look for it, because our first page is different than all the rest of the pages. And I think that is what trips people up. So all you have to do is come up to where your header would be and double click, and that's going to bring up your header. I have already got it clicked here, but this is what you want to click right here, different first page. You click that and you see first page header, and then you're just going to see header. All right. So all of our headings are going to be on the right side of the page. So I can go back over here to my home and just hit the right justify. And of course, it doesn't want to work, so I'm just going to tab over. Let's see what it's doing here. Oh, so I'm just going to tab over. I was playing with this earlier. I think there was already a return there. So if we go back over here to our formatting guidelines, we know that they want the category number, the category name, and then the number of words or pages. So the category number is number 2. That's category 2. And then I'm going to just go back over here. It is being kind of wonky on me, but that's okay. I'm just going to use my mouse. It's essay. And again, right down here, I see how many words that I have. I also like to go ahead and make sure that it is meeting the font and size requirements that have been established in the guidelines. Okay, so our first page is done. And you notice that nothing is on our second page. So I'm going to go over here to our second page where they want the title and the page number. I'm going to go to Insert, Page Number. Sorry, that's not page number. There we go. Page number, top of page on the right side. And there you can see it starts with 2. They also want the title. So I'm just going to type the title, if I can type here. And then I put a little dash. Let me go ahead and remove those markers so you can see what it looks like. This is what it should look like to the judges. If you don't like it like that, if you'd rather have one above the other, then just simply delete the dash and hit return. Voila. Again, I want to go ahead and highlight that, make sure that it's the right font and the right size. And now it's done. It's ready. And as I scroll down, I can see that the correct header is on all of the pages with the correct page number. Now, as I mentioned before, identifying markers is one way to get yourself disqualified. And some people like to go the extra step. If you click File and then Info, excuse me, I've got quite the drum going on. You can actually inspect your document for your name. So I don't care about that. So I'm looking for personal information. I can unclick all of this other thing. Okay. So all I'm really looking for is the personal information, document properties and personal information, inspect, remove all, close. You can see that took it away from right here. Now, most of your judges are not looking there, but that is one extra step you can do to make sure that you have no identifying markers on your document. Now I'm going to go ahead and save. Now yours might say save as, or just save, because I'm working on 365. It's always save a copy. So I'm just going to save a copy. And I'm just going to go to my desktop with this so it's nice and easy. And I like to create a new folder when I'm doing the OWFI content. That way I know where everything goes in the same folder. And we're going to save it per the instructions. Now these instructions are not on this page. They are on the main submission, but they are the same thing that they've been for a while. They want the category number and then the title. Now there's been some question on whether or not there needs to be spaces here or not, but we are going to follow the directions and remove those spaces. We also want to make sure that it is either a DOC, a DOCX, or a PDF. And then I'm going to save that, and then it's ready to upload. Okay, so that was just something for 365. Probably won't come up on your, that little message won't necessarily come up on yours. So it was just saying it could save it automatically for me. But basically, that's how you format the essay. All right, let's move on down our category list here. And here we come across script. All right, I'm going to be really honest with you. This is not something that is my forte at all, but we do have a button here that will give you all sorts of different resources on how to format a script correctly. This is the one area that I would be like, yeah, I'm not real sure. So you want to definitely check out those resources if you're not sure what you're doing. I do have a script here. I did enter one a few years ago, and I will say that this formatting was definitely guided by somebody who knew what they were doing. But I wanted to show you the headers. Again, you can see up here that I put category 5. It is a TV script. That's the category name. And then 30 pages plus the synopsis. Now, if I look over here, though, at the contest categories, I'll see that, oh, I'm only allotted 25 pages. You got to watch for those things that might have changed. So I'm going to have to go in here and I'm going to have to lose 5 pages. Do I like losing 5 pages? Of course I don't. But we have to keep in mind that our judges are volunteers. And so, you know, they're using their valuable time to judge these things, and we want to be mindful of that. And so we can't give everybody the full manuscripts as much as we would really like to. That's just not how this works. So anyway, that's what that synopsis is for. So I will delete 5 pages. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm in the interest of time, but I'm going to make sure that I only have 30 pages or 25 pages when I submit to them. It's actually 38 pages. I'm way over. So double check that. Make sure you're sending them the right amount of pages, because they're going to stop reading after 25 pages anyway. The judges are not going to read past your allotment. So you're not doing yourself any favors by adding extra. In fact, you might just get yourself kind of mentally deducted points because the judge is going to see that you're not following the rules. So, and if it comes down to you and somebody else and you've not followed the rules, then yeah, I don't think you have a leg up there. Excuse me, I'll take a little drink there. Okay. Oh, so let's go ahead and save it, because I want to make sure everybody knows how to save. Save a copy, save as. I'm going to go to my desktop. Most of you guys know how to save things, so this is just crossing the T's, dotting the I's. All right, and our category number is 5. So I'm just going to put my cursor right in front of it. Category 5, head in Texas. I see that it's a DOCX. That is perfect. And I'm going to save it. And of course, I'm going to get, I need to click that little box where I don't get that message every time. Okay, moving on. Articles, they're about the same as essays, so I'm not going to go over those again. And let's go to poetry. Okay, so here is my poem. Now, we know that poetry is really, excuse me, really subjective. And so there's all sorts of different types of formatting that goes into poetry. So our poems can be single-spaced. They do not have to be left justified. They do not have to be centered. This really kind of is at the writer's discretion. The main things that we're going to look for are the line count in these. So let's go ahead and do the header. Now, as you can see, this is a short unrhymed poem. So I don't have more than 1 page, but you do it the same way. If I go up here, well, first I want to make sure that it's 12-point font, because we want it, even though formatting is subjective in poetry, we want it large enough for the judges to see it. So go ahead and make sure that you're at that 12-point font and that you're not using some kind of fancy font that might be hard on the judge's eyes. We still want Times New Roman, even though poetry is subjective, and you may think something else is nice and flowy and cursive-y. Please make sure that you're using Times New Roman or Courier. I'm double clicking up there on the header. And once again, it's already clicked for me. This is something that I do quite often, so the computer learns from you. But if it wasn't, and I have more than 1 page, I would want to make sure that I clicked different first page. And then what they're asking for is the category number, which I will have to go look and see. Unrhymed short is category 11. So category 11, poetry, unrhymed short. And then I'm going to count my lines. Now, there's not really an easy way to do this, and all the word processors are a little bit different. I will say, though, that you do not have to count your spaces. You only have to count the lines of writing So I have 16 lines here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm just gonna write 16 lines. Ooh, that was not right. There we go, there. And voila, this one is ready. So I'm gonna go over here, save as, save a copy, or even save. And get over here to my desktop. Go in here to my OWFI. And it is no longer cat 1, it is cat 11. That's the last time I entered it was when it was cat 1. See, things change. DOCX, just because I like DOCX. 3 reasons, it's right, and I'm going to save. Okay, so fairly easy. You guys are getting the gist of this, I think. We're going to do a short story now. So, and this one is young adult short story. So again, I want to make sure that I'm looking at my word count. These have changed a little bit. So make sure that you go in and look at that word count. Open my documents. You can see I'm already showing all of my formatting here because I was in there earlier. I'm going to go ahead and click Control All, just in the interest of time. I see that it is all Times New Roman. I see that it is all 12-point font. If I go over here, I have my indent. It's going to automatically left. So I really don't have to do that. That is kind of like something that you probably don't need to do. And then everything is double space. Going to go ahead and hit OK. Going to go ahead and move my title back to the center. If I look here, I like the 4 spaces down, 4 double spaces down, 1 space in between. Remove that. And let's do that header again, because I know this header, that's the thing that's going to trip people up. Again, it's already clicked. So make sure that you're going to different first page. You want to do that before you type anything. Different first page. And I like to just tab over. In all honesty, that is the easiest thing for me to do. I just hit the tab two times and it goes right where I want it. The category number is 15. And this is, I mean, see how they worded it exactly. Short story, young adult. Let's do it the other way. And this is only 611 words long. If I go over here, look at the word count, again, well under the word count, that is fine. There is no, there's no penalty for writing shorter. And my first header is done. Then I come over to page 2, insert, page number, top of page, right-hand side. You see the 2 is there. Type in my title. Oh, we go back in here, make sure that it is the right font and the right size. Again, this is a lot of just kind of aesthetics here. Makes it look nice and neat for your judge. And it's done. So, and you can see it's on all 3 pages. Looks good. Go over to File. Again, if I want to check for that extra identifying markers, you can see them right there. Again, most judges are not going to see this, but if you want to be extra careful about it, then you're going to inspect your document, inspect document. All these have already been unclicked because I just did it and it remembered. Document, properties, and personal information, inspect, remove all, close. They are gone now. I can save the copy. Going to go over here back to my desktop. Click on my folder I'm using. And again, this was category 15. So cat 15, no spaces for guidelines, and save. And now it is also ready. Okay, I will click this button now so we don't have to keep seeing that. All right, you always get those little windows, don't we? So now that is also ready to be uploaded. Okay, finally, we are going to talk about manuscript. So unpublished manuscript. All right, so these include a synopsis, so they're just a little bit different. Now your synopsis can be single space. Everything else needs to be that double space that we've been talking about. What I'm going to show you today is an unpublished young adult book, All the Little Things. Now, this is very raw. This is from the manuscript that I work on when I have time, which is not always, but I wish there was more time because I really like the story. But I want to make sure that I definitely delete my name. That would get me disqualified real fast. So get that out of there. And because I'm only limited to 25 pages, I want to get rid of my title page. I want to get rid of my title page. So again, I'm going to just use the 4 spaces. And I have always found that it's easier to get rid of one of these breaks if it's by itself and you click out to the side and then just hit delete. It's gone. Okay, that's the easiest way to get rid of that extra space. And now I'm going to go in here and I like 2 double spaces in between my title and my chapter when I'm doing these things. I'm going to go ahead and click Control-Alt. Oop, do that again. And Times New Roman, 12-point font. And then I'm going to go here, make sure that there's no spaces in before or after my paragraphs. I'm going to make sure that it is double spaced. I'm going to click my little paragraph button here. Make sure that is left justified, the body text. Make sure I have the right indents. And again, make sure everything is double spaced. This is really just double checking everything. Okay, now I will have to go back in and change my chapter headers. Now, this is something else that is frequently asked. Once again, you want to give the cleanest looking document to the judges. So there does need to be a page break between your chapters. That is just the correct formatting in general. So I'm going to go back through here, make sure I don't have 3 chapters. I just don't remember at this point. I do. And I do the 3 pages or the 4 spaces down, 4 double spaces down, and 1 space in between. I want to show them a clean document. I want to show them a professional looking document. So even though that's taken up some space that could be used for words and writing, I feel that it's really important to show them that I'm a professional when I do this. All right, so that is all of that. So I'm going to go back up here to the beginning. Sorry for my rapid scrolling. I'm going to go ahead and take this off so you guys can see my clean document. See, that looks really nice. And the judge will appreciate that. Trust me. Like I said, we've seen some things that'll make your toes curl. So I want to do my header. The header is the same. Let's go ahead and add this. Let's go ahead and add the synopsis. So we have our page count, right? So here's my synopsis over here. It's by itself. As you can see, it can be single space, but it does still need to be 12-point font and it does still need to be Times New Roman. Again, this really kind of helps the judge read it. That's a lot of words in a little space. So yes, we understand that this is not really what you want the judge to judge you on. This just kind of gives them an idea of your story, but it still needs to be professionally written. It still needs to be edited and it still needs to look nice. So don't skimp on your synopsis. I don't like writing them either. I really don't. And in our guidelines, it does say that your synopsis should be no more than 3 pages, but that's not like a hard and fast rule. You're not going to get disqualified if you have more than 3 pages, but don't go over your page count, because if you go over these 25 pages, judge is not going to read anything past that. And so you're not helping yourself there. And again, you might get docked some points because you weren't following the rules. So I'm just going to select all and copy and paste. Now, we have also decided this year, this has been debated over many years, and we decided that there is no set standard on whether your synopsis should be in the beginning or the end of your document. There are resources all over the internet that contradict each other. So we have decided that you do the way that you feel most comfortable. I like to put mine at the end. I know that my storytelling is a lot stronger than my synopsis. So I like for the judge to read my story first and then read the synopsis. It also makes sense to me because once they're reading the story, the synopsis is kind of the continuation of that story. So it's like they can continue on. Putting at the beginning, there is absolutely no problem with that. I'm just telling you what I like to do and why I like to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the end of my documents. And I'm just going to grab this bar here, quickly scroll. It does have to be on a new page. So I'm going to give myself a little return in there, just makes it easier. Hit layout, page break. You can either do next page or section breaks. I do section breaks because when I format later for the book, this is what I need to do. So that's why I do that, but a simple page break will work for the purposes of the contest. And it's already copied, so I'm just going to paste. I'm going to hit Control V. Going back to my old school shortcut days. I want to go ahead and get, oops, wrong button. I want to go ahead and get this all those markers off. And you can see it is added to the bottom of my manuscript. It is still single spaced. It is still 12-point font. It is still Times New Roman. And I have exactly 25 pages. Woo! So I'm right where I need to be. When you do your synopsis, you do need to make sure that you have the title and you need to make sure that it is marked as the synopsis. The judge needs to know immediately to switch gears from your storytelling to your blurb writing, basically, your synopsis writing. Blurbs are shorter, I know. Okay, so let's talk about these headers. We're going to do the same thing that we've done on all the other ones. It is just that easy. We're going to click up here on the top page. We are going to click different first page. Again, I just like to tab twice. Oh, my tab twice. It did something funky. And you know what? Here's the thing. They're always going to do something funky. Computers are just like that sometimes. I've done this a million times, and still every once in a while I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Well, because it's a computer and it likes to make my life, interesting, to say the least. So we want our category number, which is 24. Again, these things might have changed, so go ahead and go look and make sure. Category 24. And I want to see, yeah, still doing that. I don't know why. We're just gonna put that there. I'm just going to put it where I want it. Unpublished young adult book. I want to make sure I'm wording it like they worded it. Unpublished young adult book. See, it did it right that time. See, just trying to keep me on my toes. All right, and again, I can see I have 25 pages here. So I'm going to put 25 pages. Now you can stop there. There's nothing in the rules that say you have to do this next part. I do this next part, I guess, for my own type A sanity with synopsis. That just is for me. Again, I want to highlight this, make sure that it is the right font and the right size. Again, just makes for a cleaner looking document. And you can see it's not changed my page count. Then I'm going to go over to my second page, insert, page number, top of page, right corner, already puts the 2 up there. Type in my title, make sure that's yellow. Get rid of those extra markers. You can see it there. And again, if you rather it be on top, just hit return and voila. Make sure that that's their correct font. I always like to change those. There you go. Now you have a very clean looking document and it will go all the way to the end. I'm going to scroll fast. Hope I didn't make my car sick there. You can see it's even on my synopsis and this is ready to go. So file, save a copy, save as. Let me go over here to my desktop where I put that. Oh, before I do that, I want to check make sure there's no identifying markers. There are none, but if I wanted to go ahead and check again, inspect documents, document properties and personal information, inspect. There are none, close, save a copy. I'm surprised it hasn't shown up here as many times as I've gone to it, but it's not. Desktop, OWFI. And again, I have like the memory of a mouse. So let me go over here, look, category 24. Little window into Jennifer's world this morning. So cat 24. And I'm going to remove the spaces per the directions. Again, I don't think this really hurts anything now, but we're just going to follow directions because that's what we do, and save. And now it's ready to go. So that only leaves the published categories. Now for your published categories, you're going to enter your ebook and you're going to upload that. And I can't show you that at this point because those pages aren't available yet. We might do another video later, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to upload your ebook. I could show you how to put the cover on it, but I'm going to be really honest with you. People format in so many different ways that I couldn't possibly show you how to add the cover. It really kind of depends on how you are formatting. So make sure that you Google that. Make sure that you have those beautiful covers on there when you upload it to the judges. I don't think they're going to count off for that, but you just never know. That's kind of a subjective thing. And so, so that's that. So I can't really go through that with you, but everything is ebook. If you do not have an ebook, then you need to contact Vicki or no, you need to contact Vicki and see if there's a way to work around it, or maybe talk to somebody about formatting it for an ebook, because I'm going to be really honest with you. If your book is not in ebook form, you're losing out on a lot of readers. So you really want to get that up in ebook form. So there's a lot of formatters on like Fiverr that do it pretty cheap. And if you have a software like Vellum, it's super easy. So if you're not already ebooking it, I would definitely ebook it, just saying. Okay, so that's it. That's everything. And now when the contest opens on December 1st, I am ready to upload those and get them to the judges. And you definitely want to make sure that you are uploading before the deadline. The deadline is February 1st at 11:59 p.m. Do not wait until 11:45, because, you know, if there's an issue, then you're going to be trying to fight an issue and the clock. So make sure that our lovely vice presidents have time to look at it. And, you know, we have always been the type of contest that has said, oh, that's not quite right. They might want to fix that, and giving people a chance to do that. I mean, if we catch it, that is. So, so, you know, don't wait until the last minute to enter. You have 2 months to do this. So make sure that you get those in. And all I have left to say is good luck and happy writing.